Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The title of my presentation is documentary film on YouTube, The Impact of 1957 Hati Melaya on Muslim Students. Introduction. A documentary is a prominent genre that resides somewhere between art, entertainment and journalism, meeting the demands of the audience for factual information, informed learning and enjoyment. Essentially, a documentary film is a way for people to share their own beneficial experiences with others. It may appear to some people as a routine event, but to someone from another area of the globe, it is a novel and intrigue. Yasin mentioned in his work titled History and Development of Documentary Production in Malaysia that documentary filmmaking began in Malaysia previously known as Malaya immediately after World War II in 1946, motivated by the documentary film movement founded by John Grayson in Britain. A government propaganda tool, the Malayan Film Unit was established to distribute information. Malayan Film Unit created the documentary film Face of Malaya in 1947, which depicted the housing issues encountered by the Malaya's urban and rural population. Documentary on YouTube. According to Nathan Smith and Jenny Rock 2014, documentary may be viewed as a succession of visually and or audibly stated claims linked by the narrative, sent from the author or authors to the spectator with the purpose of that it be perceived as facts. Nicholas 2010 describes the documentary cinema as about reality, actual people, and real-world events, whereas Webster Dictionary 2013 defined it as showing the facts about a person or an event. Documentary film 1957 Hati Melaya. Famous filmmaker Suhaimi Baba interpreted this historical era in his film 1957 Hati Melaya. She has won numerous awards as a filmmaker, and Suhaimi should be commended for her determination to challenge the production of historical dramas about the most significant events in history. The plot of his film, as well as the details of Malaysia's independence process, give the viewer a better understanding of Malaysian history. Finally, the film educates viewers about the struggle endured to gain independence. Prior to independence, politicians sparked the conflict. Dato' On bin Jaafar and Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj were two notable individuals. Both were pivotal leaders in Malaysia's independence struggle. The job that had to do to gain independence was difficult because they had to make the right decisions in order to save Malaya. Methodology. This research will concentrate on qualitative design research. To address the research topic, a quantitative approach will be used to answer question 1 and question 2. USIM students from all programs in the Faculty of Leadership and Management will be the respondents. The survey for this study will be conducted using purposive sampling. Purposive sampling is when a researcher collects data with a specific goal in mind. Typically, the researcher would be looking for one or more specifically designated categories. Purposive sampling is a type of non-probability sampling in which participants are chosen solely on the basis of their relevance to the investigation. The quantitative research approach will be employed for this research, and the instrument will be a survey questionnaire. The questionnaire will be constructed using Google Forms and will be divided into three sections: demographics, options, and Likert scale. This questionnaire will be sent via a social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook via a link. Results. The result, you can see that one, the result. The majority of respondents with a total of 93.1% claimed that they had watched a documentary film, while only 7 respondents, or 6.9%, said they had not. According to the data above, there are still some people who have never watched a documentary film in their lives. This is because not everyone prefers to watch documentary films because they are not as exciting as other genres such as horror, comedy, and so on. The majority of respondents, with a total of 95 respondents, or 93.1%, also agree that a documentary film can be watched on, on the YouTube platform, while the other 7 respondents, or 6.9%, disagree with that statement. With the statement, with the advancement of the internet, the audience no longer needs to visit the cinema just to watch the movie. They may now enjoy it from the comfort of their homes as long as there is an internet connection. One of the online platforms that support this capability is YouTube, where people can access it on their gadgets such as smartphones, tablets, and computers. Or discussion, the use of an online platform such as YouTube in watching the documentary film turns out to be a great benefit to the audiences as it is much easier to access, flexible, and really cost saving compared to watching in the cinema. The majority of the correspondents, with a total of 80%, 80.4%, also agree that YouTube is considered to be the best platform available to watch documentary films. According to Stern's 2010, YouTube is an online global visual power that has transformed the landscape of video sharing, influenced the virtual community, and stimulated in mainstream popular culture. People can search for any documentary films that suit their preferences through the YouTube platform. There are two objectives in this study, which are the impact of a documentary film on USIM students and the factor to determine the impact of a documentary film. Based on the results of the data analysis that had been done, it shows that the documentary films do give a positive impact on the USIM students who happen to be the subject of this study. Among all the impact listed, the documentary film enables people to gain insight into another person's experience, has the highest value of mean compared to the other factor. Watching documentary films not only will educate the audience on the highlighted issues, but also give the audience a new perspective to look from. For the second objective, which is the factor to determine the impact of documentary film, it can be concluded that this factor is the key element of a documentary film's impact. In order to have an impactful documentary film, all the factors listed had to be implemented. According to data analysis, it shows that advanced technology has the highest value of mean compared to the other factor. Due to the significant growing marketplace for documentary film, the advancement of technology really helps documentary filmmakers convey their stories in the way they want them to be presented. The technology also aids in the digital dissemination of documentary films over the internet, allowing the films to reach a wider audience without being limited by geographical boundaries. From the data analysis, it can be concluded that the impact of a documentary film is linked and closely connected with the factor to determine the impact of documentary film. This study approved and accepted the hypothesis proposed, which is there is a significant positive relationship between the impact of the documentary films on USIM students and the factor to determine the impact of documentary films. In conclusion, the research on the impact of documentary films on USIM students and the factor to determine the impact of the documentary films are proven by the analysis that has been done and collected successfully. The findings of this study, which were gathered using a quantitative method, aid in demonstrating the positive relationship between the impact and the factor to determine the impact of documentary film. The documentary film factor in this study should be utilized in the creation of any form of documentary film in order to attract a larger audience. That's all from me. Thank you very much.